The Oilers are on the move once again, and this time we are in beautiful Gothenburg, Sweden. This is the panel presented by Sport Chek. I'm Jessica Kent with Bob Stauffer and Jack Michaels. Guys, there's been some changes to the roster. Let's start with that.
Well, a lot of it's going to depend, Jessica, on the health of, Chris Russell, whether or not he can go. It certainly looked, based on yesterday's practice, that Adam Larsson's going to be able to play. He's on the active roster. If Russell can go, the Oilers are going to have to make a corresponding move. That could potentially include a guy like Ethan Bear, who's already, seen a paper transaction occur with him while we were in Germany, or theoretically could involve Alex Jason or maybe even Evan Bouchard, though I would suggest that would be unlikely. I think there's a good chance we might actually see Bouchard play if Russell does indeed play tomorrow against the New Jersey Devils.
There's also been some changes to your wardrobe, Jessica. I know we're relatively close to the shopping district, and I believe that's about the 11th outfit to this point that we've seen.
I may have hit up my favorite European store.
Notwithstanding. Up front, I expect this. I expect some interchangeability with the Oilers lines, perhaps even, in the first game against New Jersey, depending on how things are going. We saw Kyler Yamamoto each of the last two games actually start with Milan Lucic and Leon Draisaitl and then shuttle onto a line with Ryan Strome. Maybe he ends up even on the same line with Jesse Puljujärvi. I think you could also see guys like Toby Reeder and Jujhar Khaira shuttle up and down the lineup as the game wears along. But I do think all those players I mentioned have earned a spot in the starting lineup. One thing I do know, based on the preseason statistics, is Connor McDavid is going to center Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Ty Rattie. I may not know much, but that'll be the Oilers' top line to start the season.
Well, you can throw one more piece that you do know, and that's Cam Talbot, because I think that if you look at what this team we know for sure right now, we know that Connor McDavid the last 2 years, he's done what he's done, and based on what we've seen in preseason all the way back to those optional skates or those informal skates, he's ready to go, and he wants to take his game and his team to the next level. That doesn't happen unless Cam Talbot is ready to go from the start. And based on what we saw through the preseason games, Cam Talbot is good to go, locked in and loaded.
Had a chance to talk to him yesterday, Jessica, and Cam said, look, I realize the importance of my start and what it means to the team. He goes, that's the one thing, I wish I could change about my first 3 years in Edmonton is the starts of two of them. So he understands the importance, and I think his 4-0 record of the preseason, his .943 save percentage indicates not only a readiness to start the year, but look, there's been so much talk about who the Oilers' backup is going to be. I think you'll see a storyline develop much the same as it was 2 years ago if Talbot's playing well at the start of the year. A lot of people won't know who the Oilers' backup is because Cam Talbot wants and expects to start 70 games this year.
Well, and with that being said, Saturday is the first regular season game. Last year, we didn't get off to a great start. Like you said, 2 seasons ago we did. How important is it that we come out with a win on Saturday?
Well, to me, it is about the process, but I said that last year at the start of the year, too, and the team was out shooting teams and had greater puck possession but wasn't getting wins. They weren't quick enough last year. We've seen through preseason that there's been an emphasis on playing fast. Every team in the league says that. I think the Oilers executed that through the preseason, but they were 6-2 in preseason last year as well. They got to have a good start. They want to get the win, obviously, against New Jersey. And as Jack knows, they've had success against New Jersey since the big trade was made for Adam Larsson with Taylor Hall. I mean, the Oilers have won all 4 games played between the two teams, including a pair of wins last year to win in overtime in Jersey to cap that off. They played each other twice in the span of a week. So this team has confidence. I think that they're a better team than they showed last year, and I think they want to show it right from the start.
The other thing that's important to note about this upcoming season opener is Jersey isn't your dad's jersey anymore. It was interesting, when you look at it, New Jersey didn't get a great year from Corey Schneider. He was hurt a bunch of the year and ended up going with Keith Kincaid down the stretch. And they had guys like Kyle Palmieri hurt. What they did have was a guy like Taylor Hall, and he was the reigning most valuable player. He is the reigning most valuable player entering the game. We'll have the last 2 MVPs, but it went beyond Taylor Hall. I mean, they got great seasons from guys like Stefan Nason and Blake Coleman and Brian Boyle and Jesper Bratt and Miles Wood. These were all guys who were scoring goals. John Hines plays with a lot of pace, and I think we're going to see an exciting game on Saturday. And really, when you think of the Devils, that's not the first word that immediately springs to mind, but it's a new era under John Hines, who probably in any other season would have been a Jack Adams finalist for what he did getting the Devils to the playoffs last year.
Yeah, there's no question Jersey changed their game quite a bit, Jack. I mean, 7 of their 12 forwards that are going to play tomorrow had career highs in offense. That sounds a lot like the Oilers going into the start of the 2017-18 season. They also did not make a lot of changes. I mean, they lost a couple players. They didn't really add anybody of any significance. They sort of grew internally. So from that end, they're going to be an interesting matchup. But for the Oilers, I mean, I look at Edmonton. I'm excited about the right wings. I'm excited about the progressions with a guy like Puljujärvi, the opportunity for a Ratty, where Yamamoto's going to fit to complement the scoring. I still think ultimately the one area that's going to be questioned until it proves otherwise is going to be defense. I think that is, you know, can Clefbaum and Larson get back? And which is not to say Larson played poorly. He just had a difficult season last year. You know, he's plus 30, I think plus 31 in his 2 years in Edmonton. But the defense has to kind of prove it a bit at this stage of the game, and I think that's a little bit of a question.
Well, one thing is for certain, it should be a fun game on Saturday. Jack, Bob, thank you so much. And don't eat too many Swedish meatballs.